Thank you. Thank you for that lovely tune, and thank you for the reading. You just did such a nice job on that reading. That's what we're talking about today. We're talking about this kind of communal concerns we have, communal doubts that we have, and thank you, Reverend Debbie, for everything you do all the time. So glad to have you back here after being out for a while ill. So this month of May, the theme for the month is divine doubt. And what we've covered over the last few weeks, the first week I talked a little bit about when we meet uncertainty with compassion and curiosity, it can be the starting place for growth and for spiritual discovery. We can go deeper. So deep doubt does not necessarily mean something bad. It's something we can grow from. In the second week, Jeff stood in for Debbie talking about debuting the doubting self, and he was talking about how good it is when we stop pretending to be certain about everything, to say, you know, no, I'm not certain about everything. I've got some doubts, and let's talk about this stuff. And then today, carrying our doubts together. And so this is something that, you know, when we have our individual doubts, we kind of do it by ourselves. It's isolating. But when we have communal doubts, we can share them with other people. We can talk about them. And so that's where we're gonna go today with this stuff. When I first read about this communal doubts, I thought, well, what do I have in common with somebody else? What doubt? Now, if you would come to me and say, you know, I really sometimes doubt that when I say my prayers, that there really is a higher power that's gonna really give me some support in this. I'm gonna say, I don't share that doubt with you, because there's no doubt in my mind that there is a power in the universe that has the perfect solution to any perceived dilemma I have in my life, and I trust that. So that's not a doubt we share. But if you said to me, gee, Joanne, I've been thinking about heaven. What on earth is that going to be like? I just can't get my arms around it, and I'm thinking this and that, and how does that work, and are we going to have bodies? And I'm thinking to myself, I have two late husbands. There's two husbands in the other realm. So what's going to happen there? It's just very interesting to me how we don't know. I mean, certain people have experiences, and yet when they come back with these experiences like near-death experiences and stuff like that, you know, they all kind of sound a little bit alike. A friend of mine had an accident, and she said, you know, yeah, I was looking at my body in the car. I'm somewhere up here, and then she said I had this experience that, I mean, it's not a judgment, but it's kind of a discussion in this other arena, and she said it was sort of a discussion, and the discussion was, you know, you have to go back into that body, and what you need to do yet, Mary, is you have to make some peace with your ex-husband. That was what she was. Political unrest in our country. I mean, I don't think there are very many people that don't have a little angst about what's going on. The war in Iran, social injustices we see all over the place. So there's all kinds of things that I think as a whole group that we can share with people. And when we share things like that, we can talk about them and hopefully work for some different answers in our life. I'm going to share with you this one author that was quoted here talks about this. His name is Cole Arthur Riley. He wrote a book called Spirituality, Liberation, and the Stories That Make Us. And here's what he said. And there are also voices that are unable to exist in the tension of who we are and what we believe and who they desire us to be and what they desire for our beliefs. This is the life of a human, particularly a human with any concern for belonging or survival. We are dragged with such force into so many directions that our souls, disoriented, are unable to find their way back to center. And for most of us, the journey can be costly. And this is the sentence that really grabbed me. In spirituality, this leads many of us to profess beliefs that we do not truly believe. And most of you know the angst I went through years ago when I was a young adult, and I was not believing what I professed to believe every Sunday when I went to church. I was professing that I am a poor, miserable sinner and that I am deserving of dying in hell and being punished forever and ever. And I absolutely did not believe that. I said it because that's what we all said, it was expected, and it was very difficult for me. For years, I struggled with this because I didn't have a community to talk to about it. Everybody that I knew, my family, my friends, were all from this idea that we are these terrible people that better be darn grateful that Jesus died for us. Otherwise, there's a place for us to suffer forever. I did not believe that. And so it was only when a guy that came into the brokerage firm where I worked, he was telling us how to sell oil and gas programs, and he gave a little, like a day or half day or day seminar, and after his seminar, he held up this Science of Mind magazine, and he said, I don't want to preach to you, but this is a magazine that has helped me set goals and has helped me stay positive. Out of a room of about 25, 30 brokers, 2 women, me and Dee Ray, guess who the 2 people in the room that bid on this? Me and Dee. And we bid on it, and we stayed with it ever since. And unfortunately, as many of you know, Dee died a couple years ago, and I had a nice dream about her a couple nights ago, and we were going to the theater, and it was just lovely. So anyway, that's how I got introduced to this. And once I read that magazine, this is what I believe. This is a belief I can embrace. So it's so wonderful to have a community where we can express the things we believe and the doubts that we have, if that's the case. So, yet there is this divine doubt that we have. These are concerns that we have, these things that we, kind of niggle at us. And we need to delve into these things. It's not good just to push them away and say, well, I just won't think about that. It's like my sister said when she had told me, she's very much a fundamental Christian, she told me one time she didn't believe in hell. I'm like, what? I called her the next week and I said, well, if you don't believe in hell, what do you think Jesus died to save you from? And she said, I don't really think about that. And I would guess that there are an awful lot of mainstream Christians that are in that boat. It's just not something they think about. And I think a lot of the churches, not all of them, but a lot of them are not talking so much about that anymore. So it's not good to push these things away. When we have doubts, it's good for us to examine them, look at them, and consider how we can learn and grow from them. So I'm gonna cover 3 points today. Wake up, Anthony. He's gonna put a slide or 2 up there, I think. So the first point is this: doubt is a human experience. So we all have doubt. It's not something to be ashamed of or sweep under the rug. It's something that we share with humanity. And the weight of the things that are uncertain can press on us. Sure pressed on me when I had doubts about what I was saying on Sunday mornings. Really affected me in a big way year after year till I finally got some help. So when we're having doubts with our community, though, we can talk about it, we can converse about it, we can say, what do you think about this? I've been worried about that. How do you deal with this? Give me some ideas. Tell me a book to read that'll maybe shed some light on this. Let's get it out in the open. And we can think about, are these painful patterns before us inevitable? Is the things we see in our life, do we have to say, well, such is life? Or can we think to ourselves, this can be transformed from something that doesn't look so appealing to something that is good? And I think we need to examine our doubts and take it from something that we're not clear about to something that we can shine a light on and go deeper and have a deeper and more comforting faith. So this is something we can do together. We can do it individually, we can also do it together. The second discussion point is collective doubt. The collective doubt is what we're talking about, that doubt we share together. And it's usually more visible because, like, if you have your own doubt, you don't share it, it's not visible. But when we watch the news and we talk about it, yeah, it's visible. It's pretty much in our face all the time, these things that we're concerned about. So sharing with others, connecting with others, that's a good thing because we make a connection. We can share with somebody and feel like, okay, I'm not alone in this, and we can work on it. We can see if we can shine some light on it. We can honor doubt. It's not a weakness, but it's maybe a necessary starting place to make some changes. And there's something about sharing with people that feels good, like you're walking hand in hand on this journey together. That feels pretty good. And then the third point is collective subconscious's role in personal doubt. Collective subconscious, Ernest Holmes called it race consciousness. We sometimes call it collective subconscious or collective suggestion. And that's sort of like a reservoir of all these thoughts, all these things that have ever been thought or said or worried about race. And so race suggestion does not mean black or white. Race means human race and the things that we have in common. When I read about this, I could not help but thinking about what I've learned in my dream group. We've had a group that talks about nighttime dreams. I've been in it for, 25 years or so maybe. And we share our dreams, we talk about our dreams. And what I found really interesting is some of these dreams that I have, are the same dreams that people are having on the other side of the earth. Same dreams. We call them archetype dreams. What's the word? Archetypal. And isn't that interesting? I mean, one of the dreams I used to have, and I don't have it anymore at all, but I used to dream that my teeth were falling out. And not everybody has that dream, but some people have that dream. And that is something that's universal. Why do we dream that our teeth are falling out, for crying out loud? And one of the explanations of the teeth falling out is losing control, not being in control of your life at that particular time. So I had a lot of those dreams a few years ago. Not so much anymore. And I'm not going to go into it, but we have a lot of bathroom dreams. I'm not going to go into it. But you probably have this, where the stool is not in a private little room somewhere with a door on it. You're in the middle of either a restaurant or the library or wherever. And, what is that? To me, that's vulnerability. You're pretty vulnerable when you're out there like that. And the other thing about the toilet dreams a lot of times is the toilet is not flushing properly. Those are quite frequent. And to me, that is just thinking about things that are going the wrong direction for you, things that are in your life where you're stuck. And I just find that really interesting that is universal. Everybody has those dreams. It really, speaks, I think, to the oneness in the world. Oneness, not just with things like wars and political unrest and stuff, but lots of stuff. We all have that thing together. Snakes is another one of the dreams that people have. I had a snake dream, 25 years ago, probably. Very clear in my head yet. Now, this was a good snake dream, because some dreams about snakes are about like unknown things, fears, things that could pop up. Like when you see a snake, it startles you. And that's part of what a dream, a snake is about in a dream, that something that we're not prepared for. But snakes also shed their skin. And that shedding of skin means new life, a change, something that was kind of crusty looking and old to something that's bright and new. And so that again is one of those dreams. And then, of course, there's the flying dream. Anybody have flying dreams? And I love the flying. I haven't had so many lately, but I love when I have them, because they're just so different and they're so exciting, and it's one way that I know that I'm dreaming. So I ask myself, whoa, I'm flying. This is a dream. And then that gives me more freedom to just work with it and see where I want to go. But there is something about our beings, our lives, that is universal with everybody. And certainly one of those things is our doubts, and it's really important for us, instead of turning away from these things that maybe scare us a little or that we don't know what to deal with, to share them, talk to people about them, talk out loud. And we're just better served when we use this as an opportunity for growth. I'm going to repeat something that I can't remember who did the reading a few weeks ago, but I just think it's worth repeating. And this whole magazine for the month of May is about doubt as devotion. It's so worthwhile. If you don't have this magazine, you can get it at Barnes & Noble, but subscribe to it, get it, always have it. This is such a staple of my morning meditations. But one of the things it says in here about doubt is this: when doubt puts faith to the test, we can see it as an opportunity for deep devotion, for immersing, grounding, and centering ourselves in faith, for creating an inner openness for love and peace and serenity to flow, leaving no room for doubt. And again, doubt isn't a bad thing as long as we deal with it and use it for that growth. So give some thought to this. What are your fears, your personal fears, and then what fears you think you might share with society or your community? And if you're interested in doing a little homework, I thought this was a nice suggestion, and that is, if you've got something that's kind of on your mind, weighing on you a little bit heavily, and giving you a little unrest, think about just taking a minute. Take a deep breath, get into a place where you can spend a minute alone, and just be with that doubt. Just, say to Spirit, this is This is what I'm going through. I'm sitting here and I'm willing to do whatever it is or learn whatever it is to get over this hump. And I think if we would do that more often, if we were aware of these things that are bugging us or challenging us, and just really take the time to go within, speak to our higher power and say, I'm willing for this to be worked on. I'm willing to take that extra step, willing to learn and to grow. So I would invite you now to join me in a spiritual mind treatment. These spiritual mind treatments or an affirmative prayer are, I say them as though they're for me. I say them in first person, but they are for you too. So just please take a deep breath if you like. Close your eyes. I know there's just one power in the universe. That power is a power of peace and joy and love and abundance and balance. That power has a perfect solution to any perceived dilemma in my life. And I know that that very power that created everything in everyone is the same power that experiences life in, through, and as its creation, in, through, and as me. That perfect power within me is always there, always for me. And so with that perfect power within, I declare right now that even though sometimes my doubts and anxieties seem to stifle me, I now set an intention to face the concerns and perhaps share my concerns with others who just might have the same concerns, and use the opportunity to work together to find new answers. I trust my higher power leads me to the highest and best way of living. And I'm grateful that this is how life works. This is the law. As Jesus said, it is done unto me as I believe. And what a blessing to live in this sea of possibilities, guided by a power greater than I am. So I release these words, knowing that all is good, and I let that beneficent conspiracy do the work, and so it is.